Aleister Crowley, also known as the Beast, was on a mission to develop his full human potential, to discover the God within himself, the divine spark that slumbers inside each one of us, waiting to be ignited and actualizing all our full potential to become superhuman, a god among men. Crowley was searching for contact with the secret chiefs, highly spiritually developed, hidden beings who are part of an invisible church. The secret chiefs were regarded as an occult order who watched over the planet, seeking signs of human spiritual development. Crowley asked about the secret chiefs in all the magical groups that he met with, and he came to the conclusion that to make contact with these beings, he needed to connect with his holy guardian angel. Crowley wrote, "It should never be forgotten for a single moment that the central and essential work of the magician is the attainment of the knowledge and conversation with the holy guardian angel. Once he has achieved this, he must of course be left entirely in the hands of that angel, who can be invariably and inevitably relied upon to lead him to further great steps, crossing over the abyss and attaining the rank of Master of the Temple." To make this contact, Crowley devised a system which consisted of a form of ancient magic combined with philosophy and old wisdom. This system he named Magic with a K. In 1903, he met and married Rose Kelly. It did not start out as a romance, but Crowley married her as a favor to his friend, the artist Gerald Kelly, whose sister Rose was in dire straits. Caught up in tumultuous relationships with corrupt men, she needed a knight in shining armor to rescue her. Crowley took on this role, and by marrying her, he gave her a new lease of life. In 1904, they took their honeymoon in Egypt, and while staying in Cairo, Rose did something totally unexpected. She fell into a trance and began to speak about the ancient Egyptian gods and their ways. She wished to take Crowley to the museum in Cairo and show him a specific object. Crowley went along, intrigued at his new wife's sudden abilities. She led him to an exhibit which was numbered 666. It was a wooden stela, an upright tablet bearing an inscription from the ancient Egyptian past. It was said to have belonged to the 26th dynasty of Egyptian pharaohs. This small stela depicted Horus, the Egyptian god, in the form of Ra-Hoor-Khuit. Horus had many names and attributes, and this name, Ra-Hoor-Khuit, was the young Horus coming forth, known as the Lord of the New Eon, welcoming in a new world, a new epoch. He was also the god of war and vengeance. Ra-Hoor-Khuit sits on his throne and is being addressed by an Egyptian priest whose name is Ankh-Afnakhonsu. This stela had been buried with the priest at his death. The inscription also depicts the goddess Nui and the winged sun disk god Hadit, both gods of the sky. Back in their lodgings in Cairo, Rose fell into another trance, and a voice spoke through her. The entity claimed to be Crowley's holy guardian angel and revealed its name was Aiwass. And Crowley described this being thus: Aiwass seemed to be a tall, dark man in his 30s, well-knit, active and strong, with the face of a savage king and eyes veiled, lest their gaze should destroy what they saw. The dress was not Arab. It suggested Assyria or Persia, but very vaguely. For the next 3 days, at midday for 1 hour, Aiwass dictated to Crowley a sacred text. Crowley wrote it down and named it the Book of the Law, Liber Alvel Legis. Aiwass dictated the book to Crowley, and it was first reported that the voice came through his wife Rose while she sat in a trance. Later in life, Crowley explained that Aiwass approached him from behind his left shoulder. The voice was of deep timbre, musical and expressive, its tones solemn, voluptuous, tender, fierce, or whatever suited the mood of the message. Not bass, perhaps a rich tenor or baritone, wrote Crowley, and added that the voice had neither a native or foreign accent. Crowley did not publish this book for another 6 years. In 1912, Crowley was the editor and financial backer for the journal The Equinox, where he published parts of this obscure text. Despite complaining about the book and its creation, Crowley still found time to write 2 commentaries on it. Crowley described how, "The Book of the Law annoyed me. I was still obsessed by the idea that secrecy was necessary to a magical document. That publication would destroy its importance. I determined, in a mood which I can only describe as a fit of ill temper, to publish the Book of the Law and then get rid of it forever." This book is still popular today. Among magical circles, there are people trying to decipher the code within it. The book has only 3 chapters, each section dedicated to one of the 3 gods on the stela: Nuit, Hadit, and Horus. Nuit represents the feminine, Hadit the masculine, and Horus the divine child who comes forth from the union between the masculine and the feminine. Crowley and his magic was an attempt to unite the divine feminine with the divine masculine and create a magical divine child who would usher in a new age. To help bring in this new age, Crowley had to create a system that would encourage a new way of thinking and living that had been predicted in the Book of the Law. He began a new religious movement and named it Thelema, and declaring their main motto, which was, "Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law," a freeing of oneself from social constraints, which many confused with anarchy and chaos. What this actually refers to is about developing your will. What is will? Many of us think we have will, that we have the willpower to do what we want. But in truth, this is an illusion. Not many of us have a strong will. Crowley believed that with a will that was strong, one could do anything they wished. And a footnote to the Book of the Law is, "There is no law beyond do what thou wilt. Love is the law, love under will." If we lived in a world where people understood the need for compassion and love, for the love of brother and sister as a community, the world would be a much better place. But to make that world a reality, maybe we need to develop our will to make such a world come true. For Crowley and Thelema, to develop one's will is the mission of a true magician. It is the true work behind any esoteric or occult path, and once developed, can lead to many mystical achievements and revelations. Crowley wrote in his biography, "In the absence of willpower, the most complete collection of virtues and talents is wholly worthless." Let us know what you think in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe.